The air feels cooler here, not in temperature, but in tone. Everything unnecessary steps aside. I don't reach for clarity, it shows up when the space stays organized and nothing crowds it. The sound keeps a low profile, barely changing shape. The restraint allows attention to stay direct. Thoughts arrive cleanly, they don't rush, they complete themselves before the next one forms. Keys trace a simple outline, not decorative, not expressive. They exist to hold structure. The voice remains dry, even unadorned. It does not color emotion, it preserves balance. Time feels practical at this pace. Minutes don't stretch dramatically, they remain usable, functional. I don't push effort forward, I let continuity carry the work without resistance. The bass sits quietly underneath, never surfacing. Support works best when it stays invisible. External noise loses relevance, it passes but does not register. Focus stays local, I don't watch progress, I notice alignment instead. Tasks move smoothly when nothing interrupts the flow. Patterns repeat without asking attention. That repetition keeps thoughts stable. Breathing remains steady, unobserved. The body handles rhythm without instruction. Nothing here suggests urgency, nothing implies rest. This neutral state keeps the mind efficient. Words move through softly, never forming narrative. Meaning remains optional, function remains primary. I don't adjust the environment, it is already working. Change would interrupt what is established. Attention stays clear, not sharp. Clarity does not require tension, only consistency. If focus drifts, it returns naturally. There is no break to repair, no reset necessary. The music continues without highlighting itself. That humility is what sustains it. As the later moments pass, nothing shifts direction. The tone remains stable, the mind remains ordered. When the sound finally thins, concentration does not end. It carries forward, ready to continue without disruption. The tone loosens slightly, not drifting, just allowing motion. Focus doesn't disappear when it moves, it adjusts. I let attention slide from one task to the next without marking the transition. Continuity stays intact. The sound breathes more here, still quiet but less rigid. That flexibility keeps the mind open. Thoughts connect instead of cue, they link, then extend, forming lines rather than points. Keys move in slow arcs, never insisting. They suggest direction without drawing boundaries. The voice stays present, but softened. It doesn't anchor emotion, it smooths the surface. Time flows in viewable segments. Minutes don't expand or compress, they pass at a rate that feels cooperative. I don't hold concentration tightly. Grip creates tension, release allows stability to maintain itself. The bass remains steady but not static. Support can move without becoming noticeable. sounds fade into texture, they don't interrupt, they blend, the boundary remains intact. I don't search for momentum, I notice it continuing. When nothing disrupts it, flow prefers consistency. Patterns repeat with subtle variation, enough to stay alive, not enough to distract. That balance matters. Breathing stays even, but more noticeable now, like a reminder that the body is part of the process. Nothing here demands urgency, nothing invites rest. This middle state keeps effort sustainable. Words pass through gently, never forming narrative. Meaning remains optional, function remains central. I don't alter the structure, it's already serving its purpose. Adjustment will introduce friction. Attention remains clear, not intense. Clarity holds best when it isn't forced. If focus shifts, it shifts smoothly. No breaks occur, no reset is required. The music continues by allowing movement. That flexibility prevents fatigue. As the later moments arrive, the tone stays consistent, concentration stays available. Nothing pulls it away. When the sound eventually thins, focus doesn't collapse, it carries forward, adapted, ready to continue without interruption. Tone stays where it's placed, neither pulling inward nor expanding outward. That balance keeps things workable. I don't wait for motivation, I start inside the moment that's already here. Focus responds to continuity. The rhythm remains even, never emphasizing the beat. It marks time without calling attention to itself. Thoughts arrive with a purpose, they complete a task, then release the space for the next one. Keys move in simple patterns, predictable enough to support repetition. Repetition reduces friction. The voice stays neutral, close to the surface. It doesn't color emotion, it keeps the frame steady. Time feels organized at this pace. Minutes don't blur, they align into a sequence that functions. I don't manage effort, I manage conditions. When the environment stays calm, work proceeds naturally. The bass remains supportive, never demanding focus. Stability holds best when it stays underneath. External sounds pass through lightly, they exist but they don't interrupt. Boundaries remain clear. I don't check progress often, I trust continuity to produce results without constant measurement. Patterns repeat with intention, they don't tire the mind, they allow it to stay supports the task without distraction. Nothing here signals urgency, nothing signals pause. This neutral lane keeps movement efficient. Words pass through quietly, not forming narrative. Meaning stays optional, function stays primary. I don't shift the structure, it's already aligned. Change would introduce noise where clarity exists. Attention stays practical, not intense, not drifting. It remains available for as long as needed. If focus softens, it returns quickly. No disruption occurs, no reset required. The music continues by remaining consistent. That reliability supports duration. As the later moments pass, the tone remains unchanged. Concentration stays active, steady, usable. When the sound eventually thins, the work does not stop, it carries forward, already in motion, ready to continue without interruption. Nothing begins here, it is already in motion, quiet enough to blend with thought. The sound stays in the background, not fading, not stepping forward. It occupies space without shaping it. I place my attention down gently, like setting an object where it won't fall. The surface holds, thoughts arrive in single file. No overlap, no interruption. They finish what they start. Keys repeat a simple idea without insisting. Repetition doesn't distract it, stabilize it. Search for momentum, I notice it forming. When nothing competes for it, that's usually enough. The voice stays level, almost unremarkable. It doesn't guide, it keeps pace. Time stretches without pressure, minutes feel longer, not slower. Work fits comfortably inside them. Nothing here asks for emotion, nothing removes it either. The tone remains neutral and the mind responds. I let patterns stay unchanged. Variation isn't necessary when consistency does the job. Focus confers reliability, breathing settles into a loop. I don't need to monitor. The body handles its rhythm without supervision. The bass remains low and warm, not reaching upward. It supports the structure by staying where it is. I don't track progress continually, replaces measurement. Tasks move forward because nothing stops them. External noise loses relevance. It exists, but it doesn't enter. Boundaries hold quietly, words pass through without form and narrative. Meaning stays optional, attention remains intact. The sound avoids peaks, it avoids silence. It stays present in the space between. I don't correct my posture, it adjusts naturally. When tension isn't introduced, stillness becomes functional. The track continues without signaling change. That predictability is what allows depth. If attention drifts, it returns easily. Nothing collapses, nothing resets. The music holds its position while work aligns itself. No effort added, no friction introduced. As the later moments pass, concentration remains stable, not intense, not fragile, simply continuous. When the sound eventually thins, the focus stays. It transfers forward without disruption, ready to continue. Nothing shifts its position here. The sound stays exactly where it is, and that consistency becomes the anchor. I don't look for movement, I let stillness do the work. The motion usually interrupts, attention settles more easily this way. The rhythm exists as a reference point, not a signal that marks time. Without calling it out, thoughts slow to a practical pace. They arrive complete, then leave cleanly without dragging the next one in. Keys repeat a single idea unchanged. That repetition isn't dull, it's dependable. The voice remains barely present, almost part of the texture. It doesn't add emotion, it prevents distraction. Time stops feeling segmented. Minutes don't stand apart, they connect into one continuous span. I don't evaluate progress, I notice persistence instead. Work continues because nothing interferes. Bass stays low and even, never rising. Support holds strongest when it stays unnoticed. External sounds lose definition, they exist somewhere else. The boundary remains intact without effort. I don't adjust posture, the body aligns itself. When tension isn't introduced, stillness becomes functional. Patterns repeat without variation. That lack of change protects attention from reacting. Breathing remains steady, unobserved. The body maintains rhythm without instruction. Nothing here implies urgency, nothing suggests rest. This neutral state keeps effort efficient. Words pass through softly, not forming narrative. Meaning stays optional, function remains primary. I don't seek clarity, it forms naturally when the environment stays unchanged. Attention doesn't sharpen, it stabilizes. Stability allows depth without intensity. If focus drifts, it returns to the same point. No correction needed, no reset required. The music continues by refusing emphasis. That restraint is what sustains it. As the later moments pass, the tone remains level, concentration remains available, nothing collapses. When the sound eventually thins, the focus does not end. It transfers forward, ready to continue without transition. The atmosphere feels settled now, not still, just stable enough to work inside. I don't prepare for focus, I notice it's already here, forming quietly when nothing interrupts it. The sound moves at a measured pace, not drawing lines, not creating contrast. It stays consistent, and that consistency matters. Thoughts arrive with less friction, they don't compete, they wait their turn and finish cleanly. Keys hold a simple shape, repeating without pressure. Familiarity makes space for attention to stay open. I don't adjust the volume, I don't adjust myself. The balance holds without correction. The voice stays close to the surface, clear but unaltered. It doesn't ask to be followed, it just remains. Time passes in even segments, minutes don't compress, they stay wide enough to fit the work inside. Nothing here signals urgency, nothing suggests rest. This middle state is where things move forward. I let my breathing find its rhythm without tracking it. The body settles when the mind stays quiet. The bass remains supportive, never stepping into focus. It reinforces the structure by staying out of the way. External sounds drift by without pulling attention. They exist, but they don't enter the frame. I don't chase productivity, I let continuity build it. Momentum grows best when it isn't forced. Patterns repeat with intention, they don't dull, they create a surface that thought can rest on. Words pass through lightly, not forming stories. Meaning stays optional, function takes priority. I don't mark progress here, I recognize flow instead. The work continues because nothing stops it. As the track moves forward, nothing changes direction. That steadiness is what allows depth. If attention wanders, it returns naturally. Nothing breaks, nothing needs resetting. The sound maintains its place while tasks align themselves. No effort added, no tension introduced. When the later moments arrive, focus remains intact, not intense, not fragile, simply present. As the music slowly thins, concentration doesn't fade, it transfers smoothly, ready to continue without disruption. The atmosphere feels slightly clearer now. Not brighter, just less dense. Thoughts have room to sort themselves. I don't push attention forward, I let it arranged, finding order without effort. The sound stays transparent, present but unobtrusive. It doesn't hold the focus, it supports it. Time moves in calm layers, minutes don't rush past, be landed in a way that feels usable. Keys, trees, a soft outline, enough to mark direction, never enough to pull awareness outward. The voice remains neutral, steady, almost weightless. It doesn't shape emotion, it maintains balance. I notice how easily tasks connect here. One ends, another begins without friction between them. The bass sits quietly alone, not anchoring, just stabilizing support without presence. External noise fades into abstraction, it exists, but it doesn't register. Boundaries stay intact. I don't check progress, I recognize flow instead. Movement continues because nothing interrupts it. Patterns repeat with calm intention. They don't throw perception, they create a surface that thought can move across. Breathing remains steady, unobserved. The body keeps rhythm without guidance. Nothing in the sound demands reaction. Nothing asks for emotion. This neutrality keeps the mind clear. Words pass through without narratives. Meaning stays optional, function remains central. I don't adjust the environment, it's already aligned. Change what introduce noise where clarity exists. The tension feels light here, not sharp, not fixed. It stays flexible without losing direction. Focus drifts, it returns smoothly, finding the same position. No reset required. The music continues without highlighting itself. That humility allows depth to form as the later moments unfold. The tone stays consistent, concentration remains accessible, steady, reliable. When the sound eventually fades, focus It transfers forward, organized, ready to continue without disruption. The sound arrives without direction, already part of the air. Nothing announces itself, nothing asks to be followed. I stay where the moment places me, not moving forward, not holding back. This pace feels able. Thoughts line up quietly, one at a time. They don't overlap, they don't rush the door. Keys settle into a pattern that doesn't insist. It stays consistent, letting attention rest. I don't reach for inspiration, I don't wait for it either. Focus forms naturally when the space stays clear. Breathing finds its rhythm without instruction. The body knows what to do when nothing interrupts. The voice stays low, even almost distant. It doesn't lead the mind, it keeps it company. Time stretches in small increments. Minutes feel wider, less compressed. Work fits inside them easily. Nothing here pulls emotion forward, nothing drags it back. The middle holds steady, and that's enough. I let the sound remain unchanged. Repetition doesn't dull it, it stabilizes it. That's where concentration lives. Thoughts appear, complete themselves, then dissolve. No residue left behind. The base stays warm and constant, never rising to the surface. It supports the structure without becoming noticeable. I don't measure progress here, I notice continuity instead. The work continues because nothing stops it. Light shifts outside the frame, but it doesn't enter inside. The tone stays level, unaffected. The music avoids peaks, it avoids absence too. It stays present in a way that doesn't distract. Words pass through softly, not forming stories. Meaning stays optional, silence does part of the work. I don't check how long it's been, time loses urgency. When focus feels stable, that's when things move. The sound remains steady as tasks align themselves. No effort required, no tension added. When attention drifts, it returns easily. Nothing breaks, nothing resets. The track keeps its shape by not changing it. Consistency becomes support. I stay with this state, not naming it, not questioning it, just letting it work. As the song continues, concentration deepens quietly, not intense, not fragile, simply sustained. When the final notes eventually thin, the focus doesn't collapse, it transfers, ready to continue without disruption. present. Nothing changes when it starts, which is the point. I don't lean into attention, I place it gently, like setting something down where it won't be disturbed. The rhythm stays almost invisible. It doesn't guide, it doesn't resist, it simply remains consistent. Thoughts appear without urgency. They complete themselves before another one arrives. Order forms naturally. Keys repeat a quiet structure, not decorative and not expressive. They hold space without comment. The voice stays level, neither near nor distant. It doesn't carry emotion forward, it keeps balance. Time feels less segmented here. Minutes don't feel counted, they remain open, wide enough to work inside. I don't wait for clarity, I notice it forming when nothing interferes. That absence is enough. The bass remains low and constant, never surfacing. Support works best when it stays unnoticed. External sounds lose relevance, they exist, but they don't cross the boundary. Focus stays intact. I don't monitor progress, continuity replaces measurement. Tasks align themselves when the environment is stable. Patterns repeat without variation. The repetition doesn't dull attention, it protects it. Breathing stays even without awareness. The body maintains itself when nothing demands reaction. Nothing here suggests urgency, nothing suggests rest. This neutral zone is where effort becomes efficient. Words pass through without narrative, meaning is optional, function takes priority. I let the structure stay unchanged. Change would interrupt what is already working. Attention does not sharpen, it deepens. Depth does not require intensity, only time without disturbance. If focus drifts, it returns easily. There is no break to repair, no reset required. The music continues by refusing emphasis. That restraint is what sustains it. As the later moments pass, nothing collapses. The tone remains level, the mind remains clear. When the sound eventually thins, concentration does not end. It carries forward untouched, ready to continue without transition. not expanding outward, just making room for thought to stretch. I don't hold attention tightly, I let it rest where it naturally stays, and nothing goes at it. The rhythm remains consistent, but the space around it grows. That distance allows clarity to form without effort. Thoughts no longer line up rigidly. They connect, separate, then reconnect in more useful ways. Keys drift with intention, not marking time, but outlining in. They suggest structure without enforcing it. The voice stays light, almost transparent. It doesn't lead emotion, it keeps the surface smooth. Time feels less compact here, limits don't stack. We sit side by side, easy to work within. I don't rush decisions, I let them organize themselves. As the environment stays calm, order appears quietly. The base remains steady and warm, holding the frame together without rising into focus. Support without presence. External noise softens further. It exists beyond the boundary, no longer competing for attention. I don't check progress, I sense continuity instead. Movement continues because nothing interrupts it. Patterns repeat with subtle variation, enough to stay alive, never enough to distract. Breathing stays even, sometimes noticeable, sometimes not, but body adjusts naturally when the mind stays open. Nothing here suggests urgency, nothing suggests stopping. This open state keeps effort fluid. Words pass through gently, not forming stories. Meaning remains optional. Function stays central. I don't correct the process, it is already working. The adjustment would add noise where balance exists. Attention feels broader, no, not diluted, just distributed. That spread prevents fatigue. If focus shifts, it shifts within the same space. No break occurs, no reset needed. The music continues without signaling change. That continuity supports somber attention. As the later moments arise, the tone remains open. Concentration remains available, flexible, stable. organized, ready to continue without interruption. The sound settles into a balanced position, not cool, not warm, just stable enough to rely on. I don't notice focus arriving. It's already here, holding its place without effort. The rhythm remains understated, never pulling attention forward. It stays consistent, and consistency carries the work. Thoughts form with less resistance. They arrive complete, then clear the space for what comes next. Keys repeat a familiar outline, not to express, but to support. Structure matters more than detail here. The voice remains even, almost level with breathing. It doesn't suggest feeling, it keeps alignment. Time moves in practical segments. Minutes don't rush, they remain open, wide enough to operate inside. I don't adjust my pace, the pace holds itself when nothing competes for attention. Stability becomes efficient, the base stays warm and low, never stepping into focus. Support works best when it isn't noticed. External sounds lose urgency, they exist but they don't interrupt. Boundaries stay intact. I don't search for momentum, continuity provides it without signal or emphasis. Patterns repeat with intention, they don't dull awareness. They create a surface that thought can move across smoothly. Breathing remains steady, mostly unnoticed. The body maintains rhythm without instruction. Nothing here invites urgency, nothing invites rest. This neutral state keeps effort sustainable. Words pass through quietly, not forming narrative. Meaning remains optional, function stays central. I don't mark progress, I recognize persistence instead. Work continues because nothing breaks it. Attention feels stable here, not sharp, not drifting. It stays usable without tension. If focus wanders, it returns gently. No reset required, no interruption felt. The music continues without highlighting itself. That restraint is what allows duration. As the later moments pass, the tone remains unchanged. Concentration stays available, steady, reliable. When the sound eventually thins, remains, focus does not disappear. It carries forward, ready to continue without transition. Sound settles into a steady place, not shifting, not expanding, just holding its position. I don't search for focus anymore. It forms naturally when the environment stays consistent and nothing interrupts it. The rhythm remains understated, almost unnoticed. That subtlety keeps the mind from reacting to it. Thoughts arrive with less friction. They finish their shape before the next one appears. Nothing overlaps. Keys repeat a familiar structure, not to emphasize but to stabilize. Repetition becomes support. The voice stays even, neither foreground nor background. It exists alongside attention, not in front of it. Time stretches without pressure. Minutes don't feel segmented. They stay open wide enough to hold the task. I don't measure productivity, I notice continuity. Instead, work moves forward because nothing stops it. Remains constant, low and warm. It reinforces the structure by staying out of the way. External sounds lose influence. They pass by but they don't enter. Boundaries remain intact. I don't anticipate changes. I allow consistency to do the work that variation usually interrupts. Breathing finds its own loop, I don't track it. The body maintains rhythm without awareness. Patterns repeat with intention. They don't dull attention, they protect it from distraction. Words pass through quietly, not forming narrative. Meaning stays optional, function stays central. Nothing here signals urgency, nothing suggests rest. This neutral zone keeps effort efficient. I let the structure remain unchanged. Stability becomes the anchor that thought can rest on. Attention doesn't sharpen here, it deepens. Depth forms when time is allowed to stay uninterrupted. If focus drifts, it returns smoothly. There is no disruption to repair, no reset required. The music continues without signaling progress. The lack of emphasis supports duration. As the later moments unfold, the tone remains level, concentration remains intact. Nothing collapses when the sound eventually thins. The focus does not end, it transfers forward, ready to continue without transition. not pulling attention away, just reducing the surface so depth becomes visible. I don't observe my thoughts, I let them move without commentary, without direction. The rhythm stays narrow, almost private. It doesn't announce itself, it stays contained. Time feels heavier here, not slower, just more solid. Each minute holds weight without pressure. Keys repeat a small shape, barely shifting. The restraint keeps awareness from scattering. The voice remains low, nearly absorbed by the texture. It doesn't introduce emotion, it preserves calm. I don't reach for clarity, I allow it to form. When nothing interferes, stillness does the work. The bass stays close to the ground, steady, supportive, never rising. External noise fades into distance, it exists, but it no longer registers. Boundaries hold without effort. I don't track movement, I notice depth instead. The work continues because nothing breaks focus. Patterns repeat without variation. That sameness does not dull attention, it anchors it. Breathing slow, slightly, not forced. The body responds when tension leaves. Nothing here invites urgency, nothing invites rest. This quiet middle keeps the effort sustainable. Words cast through without forming narrative. Meaning stays optional, function stays central. I don't adjust pace, the pace stabilizes itself. When resistance drops, calm becomes practical. Attention doesn't sharpen, it settles deeper. Depth forms when intensity fades. If focus wanders, it returns inward. No reset required, no interruption felt. The music continues by staying contained. That container supports endurance. As the later moments pass, the tone remains inward. Concentration stays available, quiet, stable. When the sound eventually thins, focus does not dissolve, it remains inside, ready to continue without transition. attention turns inward. Though is it required? Won't interruption felt. The music continues by staying contained. I containment supports endurance as the weight of nothing's past. The tone remains inward. Concentration stays available. Quiet, stable. When the sound eventually thins, focus does not dissolve. It remains inside, ready to continue without transition. Without transition. The space is a little wider now, not because anything moved, but because nothing was pressing. That absence creates room. I don't tighten attention, I let it hover where it naturally stays. When the surface is calm, the rhythm remains familiar, but it breathes more. Distance between sounds keeps thought from crowding. Ideas connect lightly, then separate again. It don't insist on sequence, they organize themselves. Keys outline and gentle frames, adjusting shape without closing in. Openness supports continuity. The voice stays soft, almost translucent. It doesn't add color, it keeps the air soothed. Time feels cooperative here. Minutes don't rush or blur, they remain available, easy to work within. I don't force clarity, it forms when the environment doesn't demand reaction. Ease sharpens perception. The base stays warm and even, supporting without anchoring. Stability, it can be flexible and still hold. External sounds lose definition, makes it step the edges, never crossing inward. Boundaries remain kind. I don't monitor progress, I sense alignment instead. Movement continues because friction stays. Whoa, patterns repeat with small variation, enough to stay alive, not enough to distract. Balance holds, breathing stays even. Sometimes noticeable, This open state keeps effort sustainable. Words pass through gently, not forming narrative. Meaning stays optional, function remains central. I don't adjust the process, it's already supporting focus. Change would add weight where lightness helps. Attention feels broader, not diluted. It spins tasks without losing center. If focus drifts, it returns to the same old, and there's no correction needed, no reset required. The music continues by allowing space. That permission prevents fatigue. As the later moments pass, the calm remains open. Concentration stays accessible, clear, steady. When the sound eventually ends, focus does not collapse. It carries forward light, organized, ready to continue without interruption. The tone cools without changing direction, not darker, just less reflected. Attention settles lower, closer to the ground. I don't follow thoughts upward, I let them sink where they become quieter and easier to handle. The sound stays sparse, leaving margins untouched. Those margins hold space for thinking to happen. Time slows into deeper layers. Minutes don't stretch, they stack gently, forming a stable surface. Keys repeat a narrow shape, almost monotone. That restraint keeps awareness from drifting outward. The voice remains dry, neither near nor distant. It doesn't carry feeling, it preserves clarity. I notice tasks becoming simpler, not fewer, just less demanding. They ask less when the environment stays cool. The bass remains low, steady, unemphasized. Support without presence. External noise loses color, it becomes texture, not information. Boundaries hold quietly, I don't seek momentum, I allow continuity to do the work that urgency usually interrupts. Patterns repeat with intention, they don't invite reaction, they allow depth to develop slowly. Breathing stays even, almost mechanical. The body maintains rhythm without attention. Nothing here encourages emotion, nothing removes it. The neutral tone keeps thought clear. Words pass through lightly, never forming narrative. Meaning stays optional, function stays central. I don't adjust pace, the pace adjusts itself. When resistance drops, stillness becomes usable. Attention doesn't sharpen, it settles. Depth forms when intensity steps aside. If focus drifts, it returns to the same depth. No correction required, no reset needed. The music continues without marking progress. That absence of signal supports endurance. As the later moments arrive, tone remains cool, concentration remains available, stable, unforced. When the sound finally thins, focus does not end, it stays where it is, ready to continue without transition.